File, in this October.24, 2017 file photo, an employee poses with Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi on display at Christie's auction rooms in London. The rare painting of Christ, which that sold for a record $450 million, is heading to a museum in Abu Dhabi. The newly opened Louvre Abu Dhabi made the announcement in a tweet on Wednesday, December 6, AP photo/Kirsty Wigglesworth, file. New York, AP, New York City collects sales tax on even the smallest items, but it probably won't collect a cent in taxes on a nearly $500 million painting by Leonardo da Vinci. The Italian Renaissance artist's Salvator Mundi sold for $450 million, €380 million, during a record-breaking auction at Christie's last month to a buyer reported to be a Saudi prince. But unless he decides to hang the work in a Manhattan pied-à-terre, or ships it using the wrong type of carrier, the city won't get any taxes. That's because the state's laws are structured so that out-of-town buyers generally don't get hit with big tax bills. If they did, New York's status as a global center for art sales might be jeopardized, an expert said. Christie's declined to identify the buyer of the 500-year-old painting, but media reports point to the Saudi royal family. The New York Times reported Tuesday that documents it reviewed identify the painting's anonymous buyer as a little-known Saudi prince, Badr bin Abdullah bin Mohammed bin Farhan Al Saud. The Wall Street Journal reported Thursday that Badr was actually acting as a proxy for Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. File, in this October.24, 2017, file photo. People gather around Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi on display at Christie's auction rooms in London. The rare painting of Christ, which that sold for a record $450 million, is heading to a museum in Abu Dhabi. The newly opened Louvre Abu Dhabi made the announcement in a tweet on Wednesday, December 6, AP photo/Kirsty Wigglesworth, file. Whoever the owner is, the painting appears headed at least temporarily to the newly opened branch of the Louvre Museum in Abu Dhabi, the museum announced Wednesday. The identity of the owner and ultimate destination of the artwork plays a big role in whether the sale is taxed. If the painting of Christ raising a hand in blessing had been bought by someone who planned to keep it in New York, the buyer would be on the hook to pay an 8.875% city and local sales taxes, which on a $450 million purchase would amount to around $39 million, €30 million, said Jason Kleinman, a lawyer who advises art collectors on the tax consequences of their purchases. That probably won't happen if the painting is shipped to the Middle East. We're not supposed to tax the Saudi guy if he takes the painting outside the US, Kleinman said. The caveat is that New York has very particular rules about how a painting needs to be shipped out of the city. If those rules are not abided by, there will be some inadvertent sales tax. The painting's buyer could be forced to pay the tax if he hired a specialized fine art shipper to deliver the painting to him in Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi. New York state authorities say purchases by out-of-state buyers who use specialized art shippers as opposed to common freight carriers like UPS or FedEx are subject to sales tax.